I still don't understand how the website works, but I appreciate the tutorial. Thank you. Matt Canavan, of course, freely available to help at any time with any problems you have. Nicholas Reece, the same, of course. No parking tickets if you mention Sky News. That's part of the plan down there at the Town Hall, and that's nice to see. All right. Now, speaking of, a couple of councils have turned around and they've made it very clear, particularly Central Sydney, who would like fewer cars on the road at all in the local government area. Some local councils who want to be able to turn it down to, say, even 30 k's an hour. Nick, I've got to ask you here, because I understand we want to get more pedestrians in. I understand that we want people not to die, but of course that's because they've got headphones in, not because the cars are going particularly fast. But also, you need stuff delivered. Because last time I checked, nothing grows in the shops on Burke Street. It actually needs to be delivered, and that shouldn't just be at 3 a.m. So how do you balance it?
Well, it's a complex engineering question, isn't it? I mean, look, 75% of the trips across Greater Sydney or Greater Melbourne, Brisbane's probably even higher, are done in cars. And so given such dominance of the modes of transport, you need to ensure that people can get into the central city and around the central city fairly easily using motor vehicles. Having said that, you can't have 5.5 million people, 5 odd million people all trying to go into the central city at once in the cars. It just won't work. There's just not enough road space there for them. And equally, at the end of the day, you're trying to optimise the use of the limited road space in the city for pedestrians, motorists, cyclists and others, and so you try to try and carve it up in such a way that you're trying to optimise the amount of space so the most number of people can move efficiently around as quickly and easily as possible. So it always means that there's trade-offs between different modes, and one group or another ends up getting cranky. Generally around the world, it's going the same direction that Sydney is. They're trying to widen the footpaths, and that's because you can just move far more people around your city through pedestrian, walking, rather than through other means. But you've still got to make it easy for people to get into the city as well.
Well, it's also important in the case of the city of Sydney, and again, we're a national show, but still, if they want to get more people to walk around the city, feel free to wash it down. It smells like a toilet. They don't use water as much as they should because, environment. But again, I mean, for a bloke living in a regional area, this stuff seems a little bit confusing. I have no doubt, Matt, in terms of the priorities. But places like New York have got millions of people. Not everyone has a car, but most of the streets, okay, the result is a traffic jam where it doesn't matter if the speed sign says 30. You're only going to be going 20 or 15 every few minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty much naturally regulated, if you like, because too much traffic, fewer people will go in, of course, or choose other modes. But look, I mean, as you say, it's all a bit confusing to me. I'm all for it. Let's just make the Greens get in charge of all of these cities so they make them completely hellholes and unlivable, and everyone will want to move to the bush. I'm all for that. I'm fine with it. Let's do that. Because they vote for the Greens. They should have Greens policies imposed on them. Carbon taxes, high income tax, no negative gearing, take that off them, everything. The whole the ballybaloo. And then if you don't want to live under a Green autocracy, come and move to the bush. That would be a good plan for our country, diversify our population.
Correct, but there are great independent choices as well, like Nicholas Reece on the ballot, no doubt, at the local government elections at some point in time as the Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne. See, he starts off insulting me.
That's not going to help him.
Endorsing
That's not going to help him, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
You really are getting to him tonight. You're going to endorse him.
And of course, the problem with Matt's theory about putting the Greens in charge of our capital cities is that 70+% of the Australian economy is generated out of those capital cities, and so that wouldn't be good for anyone, including people in the bush.
We'd really struggle without you. Without the bankers and the lawyers, we'd be lost. We'd be totally lost.
I think we'll take a coal mine over a cafe.
It might pain you, Matt. It might pain you, but that is the truth.
All right.
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you, lads. That was fun.
We should set that experiment up.